Don't give in to like those negative external forces. Like just focus on the positive and follow your heart. If something is truly calling you, that's what you need to do.
Hey guys, we are back. My name is Ty.
I'm Christine.
And together we vibrate higher. So today we have a super special guest. Her name is Lani Cassiano.
Also known as Lani True.
Yes. And she is a model and a makeup artist.
You may have seen her on MTV on Wild 'N Out. Yeah, girl. So how did you get into Wild 'N Out?
Someone from production emailed me like the day before the deadline and asked me if I wanted to send in a video.
That's so cool.
I got kind of lucky. I didn't get like casted through like the regular casting director.
Wow, that's amazing. Ooh, opportunities just coming to you.
Awesome. Today we're covering the topic of moving out of your comfort zone to follow your dreams, and Lani is the perfect person, to use as an example because she moved to Los Angeles from the Bronx to pursue her passion.
Yes.
So we're gonna learn a little bit more about that, and we're gonna ask you some questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So go ahead.
So, what type of feeling do you feel after you put your art on a client?
Really happy. I like really live for it. Like when I'm with my clients and once I like, even kind of like when it's coming along, but like definitely like once it's done, I'm like, yes girl, you look so pretty. And I'm like so excited and I love it. It's great. Every time it's just, it gives me that life, you know?
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like that passion is what we need in order to really keep on going with what we do.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially as like artists and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
We need that for sure.
Totally.
And that's so cool. You get to practice on yourself every morning.
Yeah.
And you do such a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
Like your makeup on flick right now.
Yes, it is, guys. So we're gonna learn.
I got you.
So our next question is, started off just by talking about my own experience with you. Like you have modeled for Purple Goat before, you've modeled for Gold Soul, and I got to watch you in action, and you just exude this confidence when you're modeling. Like where does that come from, and like how do you deal with your insecurities when you're modeling?
The key is like the insecurity should be overcome prior to work. You know, I know that that's a challenge for a lot of people, and it does take work. You don't just wake up and you're confident. You know, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of positive affirmations and, looking at yourself every morning in the mirror. Yes, queen, like, and like feel yourself, So I think just over time, building my self-confidence just because I wanted to love myself more, it's helped with the modeling. And like, at the end of the day, it comes down to you gotta be in front of the mirror, you have to learn yourself, you have to learn your face, you have to learn your ankles, your poses, and you just practice so that when it's time to go and like the camera's on you, you kind of already like have a vibe and like your mind is already creating like what can you do that's best for like the product that you're shooting and like still for your image as well.
I love that, the practice of it, like being in front of the mirror, because that really resonates with me. Like I feel like dancing is like the most vulnerable thing that you could do, like moving your body in front of people. And so I used to get really embarrassed and like I felt like I didn't know what to do when I was in a dancing setting. So lately I've been just in front of the mirror and like forcing myself to be comfortable just dancing.
Yeah.
So
and that's good. That's good. That's working on something, and dancing is definitely like something that's kind of awkward a little bit sometimes if you're not like a professional dancer and you don't have that like confidence, for sure. It's like you could be at a party and everyone's like feeling it and they don't care and you're just like awkward and you're like
it's when you're thinking too much, letting that go. Very cool. Good answer.
So how do you find the courage to put yourself out there in a place where you don't know anybody? So when you came from New York to LA, how did you find the courage?
I gotta be thankful for my divine because I don't know where it came from. I just think I was so like tired of New York almost. I wasn't tired of New York, I think I was just tired of my lifestyle out there. At the time it was like more poisonous than helpful. A fresh start for me was like rejuvenating. and I just was ready. Like, I was ready to see what the world really had to offer me. And it was so crazy to like grow up in one place and always be confined to like a certain culture, and then move somewhere where like literally everything is different now. And like there's so much more to the world. It's almost like I felt like a child, even though I was like in my early 20s. Like I still felt like a kid, like seeing another part of the world, even though I'm still in the US. I didn't realize how closed my mind was from just growing up in one place.
So before you went to New York, have you ever gone to LA before?
Wow.
No.
You decided to just make that move.
Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing.
I came for 3 days, 3 weeks before the move. Had the feeling I wanted to move here, even though I didn't know anything about it. I had a childhood friend that had moved here like 3 weeks before, and he always like raved about it, but I didn't know anything about it or the culture. And I was just like, hey, like I really needed like a getaway. So I was like, hey, can I come see you or whatever? And then like once he was like, okay, no problem, I just like started looking up online to see if they had the makeup school that I always wanted to go to, and they did.
Which
was like makeup designery.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. So then I was like, maybe, you know, I can just like go to school and like move out there. You know, like why not? I had nothing in New York, you know? So then I came for those 3 days and I like instantly fell in love, and within 3 weeks, thank God, I was able to move over here.
That's so admirable.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like I've always admired people that have been able to like pick up and move to a different state. It's something I've never done, and maybe it's because it's just not my calling yet. In California, I don't know, I'm kind of spoiled here. Like the weather. Like I don't know where else I would go. Probably New York one day, but I don't want to struggle in New York. I want to be living in New York.
Same girl.
Yeah.
I'm not going back until I can live comfortably in the city.
Exactly.
Like, that's the goal.
Explain a big moment of discomfort that you have had since moving to Los Angeles and what you did to overcome it.
This is gonna get a little personal, but I got into a relationship fairly new into like my move, maybe like 6 or 7 months in. And I think that I was possibly in a more vulnerable space because I was out here alone, and you know, I met someone and I was just kind of like vibing, and I was like, okay, cool. And I just kind of like let it move, and I wasn't being cautious. I was just kind of like following the vibe, and then it didn't work out. But like within the relationship, the person like wanted certain things from me and basically didn't want me to work, and like wanted me to like take care of the home and like be that kind of like significant other. And I was okay with it because at the time I was with the person and I was like, sure, of course I want to please you. But I didn't realize that in doing something like that, you're putting like your whole life and like trust in this person.
Yes.
And so I made the decision, and the relationship ended up not working out, and I fell flat on my face. I didn't have like finances to take care of myself, and like it was very, very hard. It was a very hard time to like hustle and like try to make money and try to come up. And amongst that, I was also dealing with like roommate situations and like other things as well in my life. So that was a very, very hard time. And I say, you know, I thank God that I came over it. It takes time. It takes a lot of like being good to yourself and nice to yourself and being patient with yourself, and trying not to beat yourself up for the decisions that you made, and just understand that you are where you are and you can grow. It just, you gotta work harder.
I love that.
I
know. I love that. I love that you
very
mentioned the
touching.
divine as well. So you believe in divine order and things happening for a reason.
Absolutely.
You feel like that happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
In order for you to strengthen yourself.
Yes, because of that experience, I am a different person.
Yeah.
Like anyone that knows me from New York, if they met me and sat down and had a conversation with me now, like I am literally a totally different person. And I'm aware of that, and I'm okay with that because I feel I've developed to a better version of myself. But yeah, sometimes you gotta see your darkest time before you see the light.
Yeah. It's interesting. People that have like been through the darkest times, I feel like they exude this energy, and I felt that from you. Like even before I met you physically, like I just felt that from like her social networking. I'm like, she is a good person. Like she is an authentic person. I can read that genuineness from her. So
you could really feel it. Like you just radiate that beautiful energy.
Yes.
It's amazing. Like I haven't even met you before the photo shoot, and you could just feel how loving and so true you are. Like Lani, true.
yes, the name is true.
What advice would you give to people that are trying to step out of their comfort zone?
This is so cliche, but like don't care about what other people think. Your soul is there for you to speak to you, and you know like what feels right, you know? So it's like you have to follow that, and there are people that are going to test you, and you might not even realize that those are tests that are being put in your path to test your faith and test how strongly you feel for your desire. So I just say, don't give in to like those negative external forces. Like, just focus on the positive and follow your heart. If something is truly calling you, that's what you need to do. And if your parents aren't supportive, or you know, your close friends aren't supportive, or your boyfriend or your husband isn't supportive, listen, if that's what's in your heart, there's a reason that you're feeling something so powerful. Sometimes there's a way for you to see that those things that are in your life, maybe they're not supposed to be there. Like, maybe those things are standing in your way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I just say that, like, follow your intuition, follow that thing that's inside of you, that even if you don't really understand, is like calling to you. Move around what you gotta move around to make that thing work.
Oh my God, speaking to me so much right now.
Seriously, I think it's so awesome that you have a really strong connection with your intuition. Like, when you say divine, do you talk about, is it like related to your intuition?
It's, to me, my divine is my angels and
oh my God,
myself.
you believe in angels too?
Yeah.
Me too. And sometimes I hesitate to talk about angels because I feel like,
it's a little woo-woo,
it is a little woo-woo, but we really do
Yeah.
have angels and guides surrounding us in all their glory, and it's so cool that you have that belief as well. I think that's so great.
Yeah, I think it's everything. I think it's yourself. I think it's your higher self, and I think it's the people that are guiding you. So
Oh
like,
my
for me,
gosh.
that's my divine.
I think that's so awesome. Wow. So before you came to LA, did you have that divine belief? Yeah.
Not where it is now. I was raised, my mother was baptized Catholic, but she doesn't follow it as much, but she does have a faith and a belief in God, so like in a higher power. So I grew up like praying and like believing that there was a higher power, but I was never baptized because my mom told me, I want you to explore religions and I want you to choose for yourself. Like,
wow, that's really awesome that your mom was,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I didn't understand, but now like I really appreciate that she never like forced me into a belief system.
Yeah.
So coming out here, I don't know, like everything, it finds its way into your life.
Totally.
And like all these teachers, like they just came into my life over time, and like
yes.
the first thing I discovered was the law of attraction.
Oh my God. Was it The Secret? Oh my gosh, same with me.
That's kind of like what opened the door to
Same
like
with
that
me.
energy.
Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So did you discover that when you were here in LA?
No, that I fortunately did discover in New York through someone I had been dating like several years ago. This was maybe like 4 years ago. But yeah, it was someone that I had been dating, and like he had told me about the law of attraction, and I watched The Secret, and I was just so like into it.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this is so cool. It's like magic, like whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, let's see if this really works, you know? And I just started exploring more with that and researching, and then I started getting like really into books, and then
Oh my God.
Four Agreements was my second teacher. And then from there it just kicked off, and I had like this developing interest like to know more and more about this stuff.
Yeah.
Wow,
I love the Four
amazing.
Agreements just because it's such a simple book. It has such a simple
easy.
teaching that we just need to be reminded of.
Who's it by? I want to read it.
Don Miguel Ruiz. Yeah, Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yes.
Okay, good
Yes.
to know.
Yes.
It will change your life.
Yeah,
For
it's
real.
pretty amazing. And then also how you spoke about calling people into your life. We're actually going to be covering that very, very soon.
Yes.
I think it might be the next topic that we cover because we are both experiencing that. Even you coming into our lives, we call that in.
And vice versa.
Yeah. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh. It's like the universe is just responding to us. And you know what? Like, we shouldn't be afraid to ask what we truly want.
Oh my gosh, yes, get
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
Okay, we
And
will
it'll
be
start
covering
to-
that.
yes.
Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. All right, so what benefits have you gained from, or what is the biggest benefit that you've gained from stepping out of your comfort zone?
Pure happiness.
Oh, I love
Seriously
it.
though.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really different. Like, don't get me wrong, like my life isn't all like unicorns and fairies and stuff, but like I have rough times still to this day,
Yeah.
but I do have to say that even when stuff gets rough and I just like stop and like focus on my bigger picture and like where I am, I'm like, you know what? I am so much further than I was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Like I was like so much more miserable a year and a half ago, and I was in a place almost where I felt stuck. So the fact that I like broke through that, like that's pretty much like what I've gained from stepping out of my comfort zone, is being where I want to be.
Breaking through is everything, because you start to learn those coping skills. You know what I mean? Like, okay, if I go through this again, I'm not gonna, like, I used to think like, damn, I'm really going to, I guess not die, but like, I'm not gonna be able to get through this. I'm not strong enough. And then you learn like, oh my God, yes I am.
Yeah, you can make it.
So when you face it again, you're just like, okay, it's like a day of being sad, or maybe an hour or two.
You become like a pro at letting go.
Yes. Yes. Surrendering is like really a biggest part of being able to step into new opportunities and grow for sure.
You have to be able to close doors to open new ones. That's something I definitely learned this year. Like you cannot, you want all these things, but you can't let them into your life until you let go of
yes.
100%.
Have you ever heard of full moons and its purpose?
Yes. I do rituals.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah. I'm more like low key about it because I'm never like all my beliefs, like I'm so open to sharing them, but I'm never pressed to like push them on.
Right.
You know, so it's nothing I'm ashamed of or that I feel the need to hide. There are things that I practice for myself, but I do understand that other people might be a little weary with receiving them. So I just take it easy. Every now and then I'll throw in like a full moon or a new moon thing on my Snap or like on Instagram.
That is tight. Good stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. So, who are some of your mentors? Like, who do you seek guidance from? Whether it's someone that you aspire to be or like anybody from YouTube?
I like Infinite Water.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I watch him a lot. I really like him a lot. Yeah, I go to YouTube for a lot of stuff, or just Googling things sometimes. I actually do have a really, really good friend of mine. His name is Jonathan. He is a holistic healer in New Jersey. He's amazing. Cool. He's amazing. He helps me a lot. That's like one of like my main mentors. I will be like breaking down like in tears, and like he'll be like FaceTime me. And like I'll FaceTime him and he'll like guide me through a meditation to kind of like calm down, and he changes my life like every time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Does he do Reiki?
He doesn't necessarily do, I don't know if he does Reiki. He does transfer energy, but his focus is more of, his focus is more of working with blockages. So he more so wants to like break the blockage than just give the Reiki. Yeah.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really good.
That's so amazing that you have somebody close to you that's able to do that. A lot of people a lot of people seek that, but it's so cool that you actually know this person.
Yeah, I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful that I know him, because if it wasn't for him, I don't have many of those gems. So, yeah, he's great.
So cool.
All right, so we're getting towards the end of our questions. This is a big one and it's very broad.
Okay.
What are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I guess I will say just being where I am now, body, mind, and spirit. Because I've worked very hard to get here, and I'm still growing. Yeah, I'm definitely still growing. I still have my days, I still have my moments that I'm in lack and I'm not in abundance. You know, like I'm more worried about what I don't have and I'm not focusing on what I do have. So I have those daily battles at times as well, but I will say I'm definitely most proud of like my spiritual development. Yeah. And where I've come with that, because with that I've been able to develop in all parts of my life. Right. You know, friendships, business relationships, living situation, everything.
Yeah, it's your relationship with yourself. Yes. You know what I mean? Like
Major
what's
keys.
Yes. Yeah, that really resonates, and that's such an amazing answer, because so many people are just seeking seeking like this outward accomplishment. You know, a lot of people would answer like, I'm so proud of, you know, this and this that I've done. But really it's like the work you do with yourself, because at the end of the day, if all of that is erased, what are you going to have? Yeah, so amazing answer.
Yeah, I feel like your inner self is a reflection of your exterior self. For sure. So it's really cool that you work on your inner self and your self-love. I feel like that's really inspiring. And a lot of people they forget about that. They kind of neglect about like loving themselves and taking care of themselves and really understanding themselves, that they kind of like get lost, and that's what creates like being stuck. And that, you know?
Yeah, it's so true. Like a lot of people will fill their days with work or going out or numbing themselves. That's a huge one. Like
I used to do that so much.
Drinking or like sharing your energy with people that don't deserve it, just so they don't have to like really work on themselves.
Dig deep and face the hard stuff.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that don't want to face it. But there's more power when you face it, I promise.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want to ask you this question.
Yes.
How do you vibrate higher?
Okay, I mean, I guess I do like, okay, I have like a nightly routine. I don't know if this is gonna be the right answer, but I have a nightly routine. I usually take my like really hot shower before bed. I light my incense. I do my sage. I do my Palo Santo.
Oh my gosh, me too. It's okay. I love it.
Yeah, I do myself. I do the whole house. And then, and then what else do I do? Oh, and then I have that little journal that I've been sharing on my social media, the one that you saw.
Yeah.
And I usually do like one journal entry before bed, or sometimes two if I got through it kind of quick.
Wow. I have mine right there.
Yeah. I have mine inside my backpack. I think it's so amazing that all the things that you do for yourself, we do it as well. So it's really awesome.
A lot of the same practices.
Yeah, I love how we are in alignment. Right? I think it's so cool.
Yeah, and so there is no wrong answer when it comes to vibrating higher. It's what you do, like what your practice is to be your best self.
Totally.
And that is it. You gotta give to yourself. You gotta care for yourself, because you are responsible for caring for yourself. No one else is responsible for that.
Yeah. So that's our question to you, you guys. Leave a comment below. How do you vibrate higher? All right, that is it, Lani. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, guys.
That was magical.
We're so grateful to have you here.
I'm grateful to be here and have this platform.
Yes, totally.
All right, you guys.
Yeah, so don't forget to follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on You Can Vibrate Higher, and your personal Instagram at Lani True.
Yes.
LANI.True.
True. Cool.
Yes.
Don't forget to vibrate.
Higher, baby. Can you feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it?
All right, bye guys.
Bye.
Cool.